Hey, what's up? Dean, Sear Performance. We are at the shop. Today I got to do some work on Jonathan's Ranger. I took the clutch sleeve out, knocked the plastic line out, and got the new fitting installed. That is the correct fitting. It is a Russell part number 640281. Clutch fitting with quad rings. So that adapts it over to 3AN, which is cool. Then I can run it down. So that's ready to go back in, but I ordered the line for it because I'm gonna put the line on it while it's out, because the area that it fits in is really tight down in there, that hole there. So to be able to get a wrench or something down in there is a tight fit. But I got that done. Then I went ahead and I put the hole in the firewall under the factory harness, and I put the boot back together so that's nice and in there. And then I took my new grommet, the big one, and clipped it for the Holley harness to go in, because I fed the entire Holley harness out and started plumbing it. And I got this harness here. Let me turn the light on. This harness here is the main power and ground. So I got that run up in there through this metal bracket. You can kind of see where my finger is. Through there. Then it comes down, and I'll end up, zip tying that up like that. And then I fed it kind of under there, over to here, and left it plenty long enough. So that's ready to go directly to the battery. Then I've got the black and the red with a white ready to go. The black will go directly to the battery, so I'll probably end up stringing it into this harness, tie that directly into the battery. The red with the white will go to one of these wires in here. It's not PCM, keep alive. It's here somewhere. It's in one of these wires here. Might be that one, EEPROM power. Might be EEPROM power. Now I'm looking for it like an idiot. Anyways, it's here somewhere. That one will go to there. Then I'm going to undo this tape, and I'm going to pull these wires. There's the battery, tack signal, and fuel pump. So I'm going to pull all of these back to here, somewhere in this curve. Feed the battery and the fuel pump over to the fuse box and feed directly into those. Well, the battery will go direct to battery, and then the green one will go to the fuel pump relay. So that'll be done. But I got the injector harness on both sides. I got everything plugged in up here. Coolant temp, cam sensor. This is for manifold temp. Then I got this side, the harness is on. So I got the injectors plugged in. I just started pushing it down. Then I remembered I got to push this other car in. So I kind of stopped there. I also got the coolant reservoir. It was this tab here, and this tab here. I got them cut off and shaved down. They'll look a little better once it's clean. But yeah, you can't really even notice that there was another jug there. So that gives me a lot of room, like almost out to here. So if you look, it's a good like 8-10 inches more of room, because this was the upper bolt for it. So the jug sat just behind the upper bolt. Gives me a lot of room over in that area. Not that I know that I need it, but if I do, I have it. Because if I run the intake over to that side, I gotta have room for a few things to go over here. I got a catch can, reservoir for the radiator, and an air filter all to fit in So yeah, then I got the screen out, and this is a cheap version of Holley's input-output harness. So I got that on there. I gotta find and print the diagram for it for which wire is which here. Even if they're labeled, I can't read that. Ain't no way. So there should be a pinout for that. I know I saw it. I think I downloaded it, but the ECU is out. I also ran the vacuum line in. So, oh, there's my light. Found it. So with the harness coming in this side over here, here's the vacuum line. There's the CAN bus, so it's pretty easy to get to. But I gotta pull a little bit of this out, I guess. See, this is why I left this one a little long. But my plan is to mount the ECU off this shelf, because this piece here, I gotta remember how it goes exactly. I think it goes this way. Could be wrong. There's a chance. Yeah, I'm wrong. Apparently it goes this way. Yeah, it goes this way. So with that panel there, I don't have enough room. Oh, but if you look down in there, there's room to actually mount the ECU right on this panel. I can get rid of this little tab, and I'm pretty sure I'll have the room to mount it right on that panel, which would be nice. I believe I have the room. I believe I can fly. And I can aim the plugs down. Maybe even make like a little spacer to keep it up above this, or I could shave this out. Yeah, I'll shave this hump out, because I see the issue that I'm gonna have is the connectors, because they only have a little bit of a space. Yeah, see, the connectors are gonna hit that hump. So I'll cut that hump out, get rid of that tab, and then the two forward bolts, if you want to call them forward bolts, those will go flat, and then I'll just get some spacers for the back, or some standoffs basically. Mount that in. That'll be done. It'll go up there. So this plug will go above. We'll feed this plug over this harness here. I'm trying to show you, but it ain't working. I got crooked hands. There it goes. Sorry. So sorry. There we go. There we go. So the fuse is hanging out, which is good. And then the plug will have enough room to plug into the ECU without like really tugging on it. And then these two can probably go over the factory harness plus the rubber hose and plug in to there, or probably even just go under the factory harness, make it a little simpler, and voila. That's that. Yeah, I don't know, that's kind of ugly. You might be able to see that. So I'll go over the harness. I'll go over the factory harness. We'll do that. Yep, I'm gonna do it right now, live on Facebook. There it goes. Come on. One hand is hard to work with. Sheesh. There we go. There's a good girl. Get in there. No? Or nothing is gonna go in there. We're gonna fight every which way possible. Okay. Yep. Go. Be nice. And go. There we go. Okay, so I got those in, and then I got the rubber hose, which I'll push it that way. Over there. And this will stay more toward this area here. So, yeah. Let me get rid of your mask, Jonathan. So that's where the Holley's gonna sit, and then there's a nice gap in the back that I believe, oh, right there on top of the column. I could feed, oh yeah, and it leads to right here, and that will be the screen. So I could feed it down and run it right out to the, oh, or over to the CAN bus, because the CAN bus is still there. Well, it should still be there. I may have done the old rappel-doodle on it, which I did. You son of a bitch. Come on. There we go. So there's the CAN bus right there. So that'll be easy to get to. Cool beans. And then that. So Jonathan bought a shift lever, and it was a straight shift lever, not knowing what we were going to need or how it was going to sit. So he bought this straight lever, which is, it's a nice lever. It's powder coated black, nice aluminum piece. But if you were to bolt it on, it hits the dash. You wouldn't even be able to, I don't even think I could bolt it on before. So, okay, like I was saying, but he's a super nice guy, and he actually took the time and looked up a shift lever, and it's from Hurst, and it has an arc. So he sent it to me, and I looked at it and said, let me look at the dimensions, let me come in and measure it. And it wasn't enough. It was like a 4-inch setback, and it was only like 10 inches tall, so it wasn't anywhere near high enough. He would have to lean over to reach for it. And I said, man, so yeah, it would be nice to be able to buy one. But so what I did was I took the measurements of this shift lever, kind of put it in place, and I drew this part and then 3D printed it. So right now it's just a piece of plastic, which is actually pretty somewhat strong other than side to side. So that gives me a base to go off of, and that is the arc. And then I took his measurements off his factory shifter and kind of but kind of did a quick, like, it might sit here. I already put this together, which may have been a bad idea, but yep. So that piece is kind of hanging out the bottom there. So if it touches right there, it puts the ball all the way up, almost in the factory position, which I think is like cool. The boot is not at all where it needs to be. The boot is actually gonna go like way down there, which I'll trim the boot a little bit and make it fit all the way to the floor. And then you'll have almost the only piece that'll be sticking out is this black shifter. So with the help of my brother, we drew this piece. Well, I mean, I drew it and then he fixed it because I screwed it up. But I closed up this hole a bunch, shortened this, and kind of radiused it more to fit the bottom of that, and then added the 2 holes so that we can bolt this shifter right to this piece. I sent it off send cut send, and they're gonna powder coat it black so it'll have a slot. It's T6 6061 aluminum, 1/2 inch thick, which is what this is. This is 1/2 inch. So when it comes, you can see I have this piece is bolted to this side of the shifter. Now I'll have the option, I can bolt this piece to this side of the shifter and give it a little more offset this way, or I could bolt it to this side of the adapter and give him a little bit of offset that way. So it'll be about an inch of offset, or more if we take that piece and flip it over, but I don't think he's going to want that. I think he's going to want it more on this side, unless, no, it should work. First gear should work. So hopefully that part comes in pretty soon. Well, I mean, it doesn't matter, I leave, but I will be here tomorrow. Tomorrow I plan on getting the rest of the Holley harness together on the motor. I have like the oil pressure sensors plugged in. That's a really hard one to get to. Not really hard one to get to, especially if you take the fuel line off the back. It'd be really easy to get to. But I have that plugged in back there. You can see it down there. So now I just need to kind of push the harness down. I have the 2 bolts for the back of the cylinder head for the ground wires. So this is the driver's side. So you see there's like a big loop. So I gotta push this loop down. And then here's the passenger side wire over here. So I gotta keep this position over here to give me enough room for my coil. We're not using the map sensor. So I have a little bit of work to finagle the harness kind of down how I want it, keep it in place. It's very limited space, and I didn't want to run the Holley harness under the master cylinder. I do, but I don't because of the header. I don't want to heat the harness up and burn it. So what I'm thinking is, once all this area is put back together, I will tuck the harness in between the booster and the master cylinder, something like that, and then it'll sit a little bit nicer. And I could probably pop this relay and bring it inside the truck if I want to get rid of this loop, or I could just push it over a little farther. But whichever way, I'll make it, as neat as I can. And that won't look horribly bad once all this stuff is tied up. Like, that doesn't get used unless you run other stuff. This is the input and output harness, so I'll have to hide that a little bit. These wires will be pulled back, so it won't look horrible. Then the rest of the harness, you won't even see it. So making headway. I also got all the ground stripped down. The positives are all stripped down. The battery's ready to go in. I got the terminals on it, so that's ready to go in. I just need to get these wires pulled up and out of the way, taped up, because I don't want to arc nothing out. But that'll give me, I'll be able to start probing wires, see what's battery, what's key on, and yeah, we'll get this wired up, and then I'll make the dash piece. This is gonna be a long video, I can tell. I'll make the dash piece to hold the Holley dash in there, and adapt over for the fuel and all that stuff, the indicators right on that. Then this big old boat, 90 Caprice. It's got a 5.3 in it. To me, looks like the engine is offset a little bit, but I might be wrong. Now that I'm really looking at it, it doesn't look that bad, so that might be all right. But I ordered a Terminator kit for this Terminator X Max. It's got a 4L80. This is the next project up, along with Jonathan's. I want to finish. And you notice the Chevelle is gone. Jim texted me. He said, man, thank you so much. Chevelle ran flawless the entire way home. He didn't have to worry about shutting it off and not being able to start it. So I'm super thrilled, proud of that car. It's a gorgeous car, and I was super excited to be able to work on it. So I appreciate Jim for giving me the opportunity and giving me a good thumbs up on the ride home, and hopefully no more issues, and he'll be able to enjoy the Chevelle. For now, appreciate you watching. Like, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified. Have a good day.